All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain the build that I have going on. So in case people ask in videos, I run Spellbinder with this setup. So I'll go to where that is. So right here. What this does is it takes your mana and converts it into damage, but also gives you a boost to crit chance. So every time I'm in front of a shrine, what I'll do is I'll do this. So what you want to do is you want to put stuff to maximize your mana, so that this. Also, if you upgrade this, you'll see the equipped effect considerably. When you get this, it just says moderate, but you can increase it by going here to this. Right here. And you upgrade these. Blood of the Iron Bull, that's you get those from killing bosses. Also looting some chests. So like here, I'll pick one right now. Let's say all these all have different effects when they're equipped on your character. So I'll explain a little bit more, but basically I'll just pick this one. Not of the voidness. Those also come from either bosses or chests too, mainly bosses. So anyway, the way you do Spellbinder is you mix as much mana as possible. These things come from, they're like lightning enemies in chapter 3, I think. It's not a guaranteed drop. You probably have to farm a bit of them, but what they do is they boost your mana. Another way too is in chapter 3, you unlock a secret area where it takes the gourd guy. There's a guy that where you can upgrade your gourd in chapter 1. There's also another guy in chapter 2. That's the rat dude. He takes all of the mine cores that you get and converts it into the stuff you see on the right there. So your mana, your health, blah, blah, blah. So what you do here is you boost as much mana as possible. What this also does, it boosts your attack when you're at full health. So when you do this at the shrine, you're at full health every time you rest. So you do this. And then you go here. Go to rest. And then you hit Spellbinder. So what you're seeing now, and generally what I was doing before is I was running, for my poison build, I was doing this. I'll explain that in a bit. But basically you put on all the stuff for whatever build you're doing. So I mix this with the Bull King set, because the Bull King set takes your defense and converts it into damage. And the staff increases your attack based on your defense. So you're mixing that with fucking Spellbinder, and you're essentially like doubling your damage. So you see there, I'm at 343. So then what I'll do here is I'll put that on. I'll put So these all boost your defense. And this is what I run with Spellbinder for this setup. Crit chance is not very high, but it's better than most. 25 is pretty good for this. Same with the crit damage, it's pretty good. But the damage that you're doing mixing with Spellbinder is crazy. These you could change. You could put on this, which gives you damage reduction. This gives you lava boost or resistance and burn resistance. This does stamina recovery. But I put this on to give me crit chance and crit damage boost. Another thing that this set does, you do not get perfect dodges, but what you do get when you avoid attacks is tenacity, which also boosts your damage too. But grants tenacity when health is below half. So you're basically, I believe you gain health, if I'm not mistaken, with tenacity. But what I was running before was I was doing this. This is my other build that I was running. So this is the first build. So you're mixing Spellbinder from the boost of your mana mixed with the damage that you're getting from the Bull King set based off your defense. So you're getting like double the damage almost. And you're also gaining health as well in certain circumstances. And you're not taking as much damage because you have such high defense. But what I was running before, this is another way you can run Spellbinder too. This puts out a lot of damage as well. So what I would recommend is, I would recommend this, but then I would go, that recovers gourds. What was I running? You could use that. Yeah, this one. And then, where's the one that gives you crit chance? Movement speed. You could run this. So this will, upon using the gourd, will no longer be interrupted by incoming attacks. Give you considerable damage reduction. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Where was the one? Yeah, this one. So this is what I would run for a poison build. If you don't have this, you could run. You could run one of these. So this is what you could run. So this, every time you take a sip, so essentially what you're doing, I'll explain a little bit more. Okay, now I'll go to my gear. This one. This one's good. So what this does, it gives you a damage boost on 3 and 4 focus points. So it gives you a damage boost with heavy charged focus attacks. So if you do a lot of heavy charged focus attacks, this is really good. But the one that I recommend, because this gives you a damage boost, also a crit chance and crit damage boost. I'll explain a little bit more in just a sec here. So what I would do, that's this one. So my first New Game Plus playthrough, I was running this. This is what I was running right here. And then leave the beads on. I think I did crit damage. damage. And then that. And that. Now I have 4. Some people will have 2 slots, but you should have at least 3 slots when you enter New Game Plus. So these are the 3 that I would recommend for New Game Plus. And then you run this staff. If you don't have this one, you could run the Jinju Bang. It lowers your crit chance. You could also run. Is it in here? This one. This isn't bad. Gives you get this after chapter 4. I can't remember how you get this one again. I think it's a New Game Plus. This is how I ran this build. That's a lot of damage. Mixed with Spellbinder, this is insane the amount of damage you do with this. So with this build, what you do is you take a sip of your gourd. Now you see all at the bottom there below my stamina, that's giving me a damage boost. So now if I go back into here, look at my crit chance and crit damage. That's just from taking a sip. And if you're careful, that's why I would recommend putting this one on here. You could do a gourd like this one, but this is only 6. So if you're in the middle of a fight, you could probably run through this pretty quick. Another thing you can do too to minimize how much health you're missing. So when you poison yourself, obviously you're going to do damage to yourself. So when you go into here, you want to have, where is it? This. You want to level this up as much as possible. Because what will happen if you don't have that leveled up? So here, I'll poison myself again. So you see that number tick in there on my character? And then if you look at my health, it's going down. It's going down because I'm obviously poisoning myself, but I'm giving myself a slight damage. I'm giving myself a pretty good damage boost. Now, watch what happens when I take those points off. So if I go in here, I'm going to remove all these. I'm going to check and see in my transfer. This is another area where you can get this too. Your this gives you resistance too. Where is it? Vulnerability. Orbane resistance. Yeah, this is another one, but I'm not gonna hit that. Okay, so now watch what happens when I poison myself. Watch my health. What? That didn't. Is it in my brew? I think it is. I'm gonna take that off. Remove. There we go. Let's see if this works now. So what will happen is you'll see that number slowly increase in size. So you get the damage the damage boost for quite a while. But as you're poisoned, you're getting the boost in damage. Another thing too is if you get poisoned by enemies, that also boosts your damage too. It's just anytime you get poisoned, because this gear, what it does is it reduces so it massively reduces the damage you take at a poison state, but it also increases your damage while suffering from the poison state. So whenever you see that poison symbol on you, you're getting a decrease in the amount you receive, but you're also giving out quite a bit yourself. So if you're running through New Game Plus, this is an amazing build. I was actually surprising myself how now I'd run these exact curios if you have 4 slots. If you have 3 slots, then you can put another crit chance in there, or even another crit damage. But this is how I run it. You could even, if you have 3 slots, you could get this, but that also removes damage that you're doing out. But this also increases your buildup of focus points. Now, if you're doing the one with buildup of focus points, then I would recommend getting this guy. This guy you find in chapter 5 in the lava area of chapter 5 once you go through the valley entrance. He's by a chest where you get your first coon steel, I believe. But I went with this one. I also leveled it up because it gives you a boost to 3 things, not just one. Right here. This one only gives you 1 boost. Well, 2 essentially, but getting to 4 focus points is pretty tough, especially in some bosses where they're moving pretty quick. Don't worry about your mana that you're seeing there depleting because you're already in Spellbinder. So anytime you're changing out any of your gear, do it after you hit Spellbinder. So once you rest and you've built up as much mana as possible that you have with curios or gear, this is why I recommend running Spellbinder when you're in New Game Plus, because the rat that I told you about that you meet in chapter 2, you'll take the mine cores and you'll boost your mana. But I'd recommend this build for New Game Plus. This is what I ran in New Game Plus. This is my poison build. But currently right now, what I'm running is this. And also, when you enter into New Game Plus, in your first playthrough, not New Game Plus, you should unlock at least enough stuff if you go through the secret area of chapter 5, enough stuff to craft 2 pieces of this gear. Now, if you want to do a Spellbinder build with this in your first playthrough, you could do this right here. Or you could run this with Cloud Step. Okay. And then... But this is what I'm running right now. right here, because you're getting a boost from your defense and also mixed with Spellbinder. The crit chance and the damage might look a little low, but in the end, you're doing far more damage. Now I gotta remember which ones I had here. There we go. This is what I'm running right now. Spellbinder. 347 damage. Insane. Insane. And every time you take a sip of your gourd, you're receiving 30% max health, which isn't great, but you're also getting considerable damage increase on your next attack. This build is crazy. I do so much damage with this. All right. Enjoy, fellas and ladies.